Hi, my name is Jennifer Orzak, and a friend or family member probably forwarded you this video. So I first of all would like to say thank you for watching it, hopefully to the end. I, with the help of a friend, am trying to make a difference in something that impacts millions of people. So in the next few minutes, I'd like to tell you who it is we're trying to help, what it is we've done, a little bit about what personally motivates me, and most importantly, how everyone out there that's watching this video right now is just as important in our efforts as we are. So the people we're trying to help are the millions of people who struggle with Alzheimer's disease or other dementia-related disorders. I'm a nurse, and I've worked in long-term care, and I've surveyed nursing homes for 2 different state agencies. I've seen a lot of elderly confused individuals, and it's very heartbreaking to me. I've also seen a lot of caregivers and a lot of staff who give over 110% of themselves. Sometimes they don't even take breaks, trying to meet the needs of these people that are so confused. But it's very challenging. Just the other day, I was visiting with a resident in a care facility, and when I walked into her room, she was crying and she was distraught. She asked me for help. She had been trying to call her son, and she couldn't get through to him. Now, what she held up to me was, in her mind, her telephone. But in reality, what she held up to me was her TV remote control. And she had been desperately just dialing the numbers on it, trying to get through to her son. But now her call bell was right there. She didn't know what it was, and she didn't know how to use it. So even though help was there for her, she couldn't obtain help because she didn't know how to ask for it anymore. And that's why I'm in front of you today. I'm here to ask you to help me help them. And in a few minutes, I'll tell you a little bit more about what personally motivates me and how the dementia process affected my own family. But first of all, I'd like to share with you what we've done. I and a friend, her name is Amy Hurley, have created a book. And the name of the book is Diary of an Imprisoned Mind, The Reader's Key. We have directed that 100% of the royalties, which normally would come to us, instead be given to a nonprofit foundation that supports dementia research. And in a few minutes, I'll tell you what that nonprofit is. But if we could briefly look at the book, it's very short and easy to read. It takes approximately 45 minutes. The cover was designed to look like this, and the background is a bananagram puzzle phrase. And some of the letters are actually obliterated, or some of them actually fade into the background. But what I want people to consider is, if you get a tad frustrated in looking at that and trying to figure out what it says, that is minuscule compared to the frustration that these people experience every morning that they wake up. Every morning they wake up to a puzzle. Where am I? Who are you? What am I supposed to do with my day? How do I get home? When can I go home? And they ask those questions over and over and over again because they can't help it. So if you read the book, it will allow you to disengage from your structured thought processes and instead enter the mind of a fictional character named Irene. Now, Irene has lived in a care facility for many years, but in her mind, she has been there for only a few days. You will find that she hits, she wonders, she curses, she floods her bathroom with water and tries to clean it up and doesn't do a very good job. She shoves her urine-soiled clothing into her drawers. She leaves the facility and gets hurt. She calls her daughter, her sister. She mumbles words and phrases that seem to make no sense to the caregivers nor the readers. But in the end of the story, you'll find that those words are things from her youthful days, things that she's drawing on because they were repetitive to her. We're not out to get an artistic or a literary award. We're out to hopefully touch people's heart, to hopefully get them to have more sympathy for confused individuals. No one can truly know what goes on in the minds of people with dementia, but what we're asking people to consider is the sadness of constantly living in a state of confusion and not understanding what is going on around you, and that they have no hope unless we help them. The book was actually published by a Buzz Press. It can be purchased anywhere that you purchase a book. You can go online and purchase it through Amazon, through Book Locker, through Barnes & Noble. You can go into your local bookstore and say, can you order this book for me? It is a print-on-demand book, but any bookstore can get it. Even libraries can order it. So you can go into your local library and ask them to order it and not even have to pay any money to support this project. The royalties, although they're not as good as self-published, they're much better than traditionally published books. So therefore, we're hoping the idea will catch on. Read a book, hopefully gain some sympathy, and in turn, increase funding for research. The nonprofit that we decided to support was the Alzheimer's Drug Discovery Foundation. We're not affiliated with them in any way, nor does their acceptance of the money indicate that they endorse the book. They're just accepting the money as any other gift. I'd also like to say that nothing will motivate someone more than if something really hits home. So I'd like to share something about my own mother. My mother, to me, was the sweetest person in the whole world. She helped care for so many people. She raised 6 children. She gave her whole lifetime to helping other people. But in her retirement years, in her last years, the very only reason that she could not live in her own home for many years was because of her memory impairment. She had a dementia disorder. She was physically capable of living at home. She was physically healthy, but again, that was the only reason. At the same time, I had a young son who I was trying to hopefully raise to be a good, ethical young man and teaching him right from wrong. But unfortunately, he saw me often do what I call therapeutic lies to my mother. In order to allay her fears, as many of you know who deal with people with dementia, you can't tell them the truth. So oftentimes when my mother would ask me a question, I didn't tell her the truth, and I did it in front of my son. It was very sad. It was sad for me. It was sad for my mother. It's a sad thing for millions of people and millions of families that go through this. But I'm trying to teach my son a different lesson now. I'm trying to teach him that if you really want to make a difference in something that has hurt you or impacted you, you can at least try. I might not succeed with this project. I may only sell a few books, but at least I've given it an effort in my own time taking my own time to do something. So I'd like to end by saying that if you Google my name, you might find that for a short interim period, when I wasn't able to look as a full-time nurse due to family responsibilities, I decided to try to sell real estate. I loved HGTV, but I wasn't very successful in it. And here's the thing I figured out: my heart wasn't in it. So I'm here today in front of you to tell you that my heart is in this. I do not even have a Facebook account. I do very little social media. So being in front of you today is a huge indicator of how important this is for me to succeed, and hopefully getting people to understand how very sad it was for me, for my mom, and for millions of people, and try to make a difference. I know that people share YouTube videos. Sometimes I see silly YouTube videos, something like my grandmother's uncle's aunt's kid's nephew chewed bubblegum for 20 minutes and 24 hours or something just really ridiculous. Now I know that's an extreme example, but the point is people share videos and sometimes they're just silly. So I'm asking people to consider just doing a few things. Could you first of all consider possibly reading this book? It's $2.99 for a digital copy online, $12.95 if you order it through Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Book Locker or sites, or if you ask your own bookstore to order it. If you read the book and it touches your heart, can you pass this video along to other people? And even if you don't read the book, but you know people who might be advocates for increased funding or increased awareness about dementia, if you'll also pass this video along. I'm not asking for me. I'm asking in memory and honor of my mother who struggled to hold on to her dignity. I'm asking in memory and in honor of Amy's mother who also struggled with memory problems. And I'm asking for millions and millions of people who every day just wish that they could be in front of you today asking for help, but they don't know how. Thank you.